Welcome to Vintage Variety. Today I'm going to take you guys along with me as I go thrifting for vintage jewelry. This store is a consignment shop. I have shown this store in content before. They are a little bit more of a higher end consignment shop. They carry a lot of name brand items. In furniture, they carry a lot of vintage and a lot of antique. They usually have a lot of really good jewelry. Today I'm seeing quite a few pieces that I like. Some of it is costume jewelry, some of it is designer, and there are a few vintage pieces. I wanted to show this store because if you don't have a lot of thrift stores in your area that carry jewelry, consignment shops are always going to be a really good option. I usually find some really good items on this rack, so I'm going to turn it about and take a really good look at it, see if there's anything on this that really catches my eye. Going to do one last walkthrough rather quickly. I always like to do this in case I did miss anything. And I'll show you the items that I purchased at this store before we move on to the next place we're going to go thrifting. This is what I purchased at that consignment store. I liked all of these. The first pair that you see here, these are unmarked. Really like the design of them. They are clip-ons. This pair, these were made by 1928, and I'm going to show you the back of them. There's the back side of these, so these are 1928. These were made by Richie Lou. There's the marking on these, and these are pierced earrings. So not bad. I felt like I found some pretty good items that fit into my budget at the first consignment shop. Let's move on to the next place and see if we find anything good there. This is an antique store. There are a couple of antique stores close to where I live, and this is one of them. I like to shop local when I can, so I will occasionally pop into this store and see if they have anything new. One thing that I wanted to mention about antique stores, there are many different kinds of antique stores. There are stores that only deal in fine, high-end antiques, and then there are little stores like this one. Usually stores like this, they're owned by one person and they rent out different areas of the store to vendors, kind of like a flea market does. The reason I know this is I have a friend, she's about in her 80s now, and she's been around or dealt with antiques most of her life. Her grandparents were antique dealers, she became an antique dealer and also a collector. She no longer deals antiques, but she's very knowledgeable about the antique business and different types of antiques. So I thought I would mention that when I go into these little stores like this, you may not have antique stores that look like this in your area. For example, in New Orleans, they have Madame Roz. That is a very high-end antique store. You're going to find really fine antiques, both European and American. I have found some pretty good jewelry bags in this store before that had a lot of really good pieces in them. I'm going to look through the bags that they have in this booth and maybe I will find some today. They do have some jewelry bags, but from what I'm seeing, most of these are going to be for crafting. So this is a different booth. They have a lot of pieces of costume jewelry hanging up. I'm going to see if there's anything that catches my eye. When I look at these pieces, I'm looking for pieces that I would actually wear. I'm also looking at the quality. I look to see if the pieces are signed. I feel like the pieces of jewelry in this booth are just a little bit overpriced. At least they're priced for a little bit more than I would be willing to pay. This is cute. This is an old makeup compact. This is what I purchased from the antique store. Many of you may have guessed that I was planning to purchase this because I did show it in my hand. This is a Florenza, and she had a really good price on it. But that's the marking on the back of this brooch. It's in really good condition. None of the pearls are missing. When I run across pieces of Florenza at reasonable prices, I usually buy them to add to my collection. So I felt like this was a really good find. This thrift store is ran by a church. And this kind of thrift store is a good thrift store to look at. A lot of times they will have very reasonable prices. I see a few things in the case that are relatively nice. And I'm going to look around at their racks. A lot of times they will have tons of jewelry, and they will also have jewelry bags, but I don't see any jewelry bags today. I did find these. I'm probably going to get them. Not a whole lot to choose from today, but I did find this cute little dog pen. These are the items that I purchased there. These are the 3 bracelets that I had picked up that I said I was probably going to get. All 3 of these are Brighton. Brighton makes a lot of silver-plated jewelry. I'm going to clean these up a little bit more. I've cleaned them some, and you can tell they look a lot better. But I'm going to leave this bracelet the way it is because I like the patinaed look on it. I also purchased this little guy. This is a really cute little cat brooch. This one is marked Avon. I picked up these earrings. They're pierced and probably not all that vintage, but I really liked them. I liked the way they looked. This is a bourbon and bow ties bracelet. If you guys remember from the subscriber appreciation sale, I did show a bracelet like this. Barb O'Donnell mentioned that she thought it was bourbon and bow ties, and I believe she's correct. This, just the way this is made, it's almost identical to that bracelet. The difference is it does have its little hang tag on it. And this one has coins on it. Last of all, I purchased this little dog brooch. I'm going to zoom in so you can see that this is also marked Florenza. This is another antique store that's not too far away from where I live. Sometimes they will have jewelry. I rarely buy any jewelry here because their jewelry is usually way overpriced. This is quartz. This is a really pretty necklace. Well, hello, handsome. Another booth. They have quite a few pairs of earrings and a couple of brooches. Don't see anything I'm really interested in, but doesn't hurt to take a look. This booth has a large assortment of items. You can see the Matchbox cars in the background. They have some jewelry, and then they have some glassware. Wanted to show you guys the antique stores because they are also another good option when you're out looking for vintage jewelry, especially the smaller antique stores that deal in both antique and vintage. So at this antique store, I didn't really find any jewelry items. I was planning not to purchase anything, and then I ran across these. These were all together in a bag. I thought, how cute are these? I decided to go ahead and get them. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. I may or may not keep them. Really liked these, especially this one. It has a really Art Nouveau look to it. I just thought they were really fun. They were $4 for all of them. So I thought, why not? We're now at another antique store. This antique store is also very large. It's closer to where my mama lives, so it's probably about an hour away from my house. I did not find anything really good jewelry-wise at the last antique store, so I'm hoping I'll find something good at this one. I'm a little bit shocked at some of the prices in this booth. You guys, I'm trying to zoom in so you can see the price tags on this stuff. To me, it's just way overpriced, way more than I would pay. I have a bracelet like one of these pieces that you see here, and I think I paid maybe $12 for it. some more jewelry, and this booth, their prices are a little bit better. The person that owns this booth is very creative. They've taken some old handbags and change purses, and they've used broken bits and pieces of jewelry to make new straps to go on them. I think that looks really neat. It's a great craft idea. A collection of old buttons, $20 a jar. I really love these coral colored pieces of jewelry. The person that owns this booth, they have entire parures bagged up, and they've really done their research. Each one has a tag explaining who the designer is. This is the only item I bought at that antique store, but I thought it was a really cute little butterfly pin. This is done in Cantil work. I think it may be sterling with a vermeil over the top. I'll have to test it. But either way, I thought it was gorgeous. It's missing a rhinestone that I'm going to have to find a replacement for, but to me, that's an easy fix. This is another antique store in the area close to where my mother lives. And of course, I'm going to have to look at the milk glass because I love pieces of milk glass. This is a basket full of items, and they're all in little Ziploc baggies. So I am going to dig through all of this, and hopefully I can find some reasonably priced pieces of jewelry that I would like to buy. I felt like I found a lot of really good pieces at this antique store. I usually do when I go there. The last time I was there, they had a much larger selection, but still, I didn't do quite too bad. All of these pieces that you see here were in the bags that I was talking about. This necklace is signed. It's a Monet. Zoom in so you can see the hang tag on that. With a really good cleaning, it'll look as good as new. I also purchased these two little stick pins to add to my collection of stick pins. Out of these three brooches, two of them are signed. This first one is signed JJ. There's the marking on the back of it. And this one is signed Coro. You'll notice it's missing one rhinestone. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to find a replacement for that. I think it'll be a pretty simple repair. And there's the Coro marking on the back of this piece. I also purchased this, and it's not marked, but I thought it was really cute. So this is going to be the last thrift store today. This is a little thrift store that's kind of tucked out of the way. It's also ran by a private organization, and I usually find some pretty good pieces of jewelry at this store. Sweet of you.
No, they don't have pizza.
These are the items that I purchased from the last thrift store I was in. And I feel like they're pretty decent items. I'm going to give you guys a really good look at each one. This necklace is more of a statement piece. Just thought that was a really pretty piece of jewelry. Second necklace, I really liked the pendant on it. Now this is all done in plastic, but I thought it was a really pretty piece of jewelry, especially with the pendant hanging down the front. I also purchased this cute little charm bracelet. I'm going to see if I can clean the tassel up. I think this would be really cute for a little girl or even a teenager. I liked the phrase on it where it says, "Keep calm and wear Chanel." This is the last necklace that I purchased there, and I really like this, guys. These are real pearls, and it has this beautiful little pendant on the front that looks like mother of pearl. I hope this content has given you some ideas of different places that you can go to look for vintage jewelry. You can also find vintage jewelry and designer jewelry at places like flea markets and estate sales. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to share these items with me. If you haven't already, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications on more content about collecting vintage and antique items. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.